Hi there, this is Butch Gamboa for Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features electronic magazine. And here are some of this week's features to watch out for. On Motoring Forum, we shall have another newly accredited transport network company to get some insight into their operations. Our road safety tip on the Young Street Smarts portion spotlights a proper way to safely join the traffic upon reaching a rotunda or a roundabout. This week's Pine Chuper is about the importance of respecting pedestrians on the road. Our car care tip on Auto Care Clinic centers on the proper use and maintenance of automatic transmission. The public service segment shall spotlight a problem regarding UV Express shuttle service. Showcase this week shall have the Suzuki Vitara, while for race weekend, we'll have the highlights of the recently concluded Round 4 of the 2018 Flat Out Race Series held at the Clark International Speedway. All this plus the latest news on the country's transportation and traffic management on this week's Motoring Today.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Xpander.
See the horizon as a starting point. Use each obstacle to gain momentum. Make the unknown routine. Continue where all others stop. New Peugeot SUV range. Never have SUVs gone so far.
Welcome back. Motoring Today now starts with the latest news in transportation and traffic management. The DOTR through the LTFRB rolled out the first batch of modernized public utility jeepneys or PUJs under the Senate Employees Transport Service Cooperative or SETSCO, an important move in the implementation of the government's PUV modernization program.
Last Tuesday, June 19, an initial 15 out of the total 35 modern PUJ units were taken to the various routes along Metro Manila, which includes Star City, CCP to PICC, and GSIS Senate to MOA to the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange and back. The official turnover of the certificate of the approved route was also handed to SETSCO during the event.
It's significant because It took a while, a little bit, to launch it, but finally we have come to this day to launch, the the modernization program of the PUV, no? Ibig sabihin public utility vehicle, no? Dito sa Metro Manila. We actually have launched it all across the country. I mean, we actually have a list of new routes for new compliant vehicles under a consolidated franchise, also under a fleet management agreement. For those who will be getting franchises, but this is the first insofar as this list is concerned, and it has happened here in the Senate. So we're very happy. Tuloy-tuloy na po ito, no? As they say, umaarangkada na po.
Senate President Vicente Soto III led the official launch along with DOTR Undersecretary for Road Transport and Infrastructure Tim Orbos, LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra III, and Office of Transport Cooperatives or OTC Chairman Emmanuel Vertusio. Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri and Senator Sherwin Gatchalian were also present in the said ceremony.
Actually, the challenges are having to put the routes together because, it is not just having to simply look at the routes, but we have to do some surveys, look at travel demand, things like that on the technical side. On the production side also, we have been pushing the manufacturers to produce the units that we need. In fact, as you can see, there are only 15 units that they can provide out of the 20. And they promise to provide the rest of the 20 units out of this 35-unit franchise by next month. So ganun po kahigpit yung production schedules ng at least insofar as this manufacturer is concerned. I'm referring to Isuzu. No? But obviously, hindi lang po ito sa isang car manufacturer. Open po sa lahat so long as the units that they are producing are compliant with the Bureau of Product Standards of DTI.
Consistent with the theme Arangkada sa Pagbabago, the brand new and modern POJs are classified as Euro 4, which is equal to 40% less carbon emissions. Electric jeepneys are also being considered in future projects. Composed of 22 operators, Setsco was among the 3 pre-selected cooperatives that would participate in the initial implementation of the PUV modernization program. Pre-selection was done by the OTC, whose recommendation was based on the cooperative's good standing, financial capability, and its established management structure.
Actually, we're looking at launching several other routes all across the country. Meron dalawa sa Mindanao, may dalawa sa Cebu, there's one in Iloilo, there's even one in Zamboanga. No? Marami po ito, including Region 1, no? In Dagupan, in Region 3, quite a number also. So, eto, nilaunch lang natin sa ngayon, pero in the next a couple of days, may mangyayari din all across the country.
Setsco is the second cooperative to have been granted a franchise to operate following its compliance to the program. It was also able to obtain a loan from the Development Bank of the Philippines. Continuing, to ensure strict implementation of the senior citizen, persons with disability, and student discounts, the Interagency Council on Traffic, or better known as IACT, conducted simultaneous operations among PUVs in the different parts of the metro. The IACT was assisted by the LTFRB, which sets the guidelines on granting fare discounts in time for the class opening.
According to DOTR Undersecretary and IACT overall head Tim Orbos, 20% fare discount must be given to senior citizens, PWDs, and student passengers, as it is prescribed by the law, provided that they present identification cards such as senior citizen, PWD, and school ID. Based on Republic Act 9442 or the amended Magna Carta for PWD and RA 9994 or the expanded Senior Citizens Act, PWDs and senior citizens are both entitled to 20% discount for land, air, and sea transportation, among others. On the other hand, LTFRB Memorandum Circular 2011-004 grants students 20% fare discount for land transport such as jeepneys, buses, UV Express vans, taxis, and Transport Network Vehicle Services, or TNVS. Memorandum Circular 2017-024 meanwhile allows students to avail of the 20% discount even during weekdays, holidays, and school breaks.
Ito po yung penalties for non-compliance. So, first offense, 5,000 pesos. Second offense, 10,000 pesos plus impounding for 30 days. Third offense, 15,000 pesos plus cancellation of franchise. So sa mga PUV drivers, particularly po sa mga UV, sa mga bus, sa mga jeepney, if meron kami matatanggap na mga violations, we will not hesitate na i-sanction ho kayo.
IAC also encouraged senior citizens, PWDs, and students to report and file formal complaints against abusive drivers at the LTFRB, which handles such offense. Meanwhile, the DOTR has given full authority to the LTFRB to regulate and supervise transport network companies and the transport network vehicle service units that operate under them.
In the department order, the DOTR recognized the establishments of the roles of TNCs and TNVS in providing transport services to the public, as well as promoting safe, reliable, and efficient land transportation services in the country. As mandated by the law, the LTFRB was tasked to regulate and monitor the compliance of TNCs and TNVS with policies, laws, and regulations. The LTFRB, such as the case for all public utility vehicles or PUVs, is in charge of issuing franchises, setting of routes, setting of operating conditions, and imposing fines, suspensions, and cancellations when necessary. Fares, rates, and other related charges will also be determined by the LTFRB after the public hearings and consultations in order to ensure that they are just and reasonable. Already, the LTFRB is processing applications for franchises to ensure that no colorum TNVS will be plying the streets.
The granting of a franchise is a delegated authority by Congress to LTFRB. What has been delegated can no longer be further delegated. It is only LTFRB who may grant a franchise po.
The LTFRB has been engaging with TNCs and TNVS operators and drivers far more than any other group over the past year. And finally, the LTO started shipping the first batch of motor vehicle plates produced by its plate-making plant to its regional offices nationwide, which will be released next month.
The LTO said that plates which were registered from July to October 2016 are now being circulated to all LTO regional offices by batches and will be distributed to its district offices. Prior to distribution, the LTO central office would be giving guidelines on claiming the plates. As of now, LTO office shared that a total of 387,000 pieces of motor vehicle plates have been produced by its plate-making plant, adding that they are still finding ways to enhance their plate production capacity. For motorcycle plates, the agency said that there is a pending bill at the Congress to design a differently sized plate.
The LTO reminds vehicle owners not to patronize unauthorized persons who claim they can facilitate the release of the plates for a fee. Those are the latest news in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. On this week's Motoring Forum, we shall again put on the spotlight transport network companies that have been recently accredited by the LTFRB to help mitigate a possible pseudo-monopoly of this mode of transport by bigger firms offering the services. This week we have Ms. Dana Morasigan, Finance Manager of UHOP Transportation Network Vehicle System, to explain how they are operating and how their services may be better than the rest. Hello, Ms. Morasigan, and welcome to Motoring Today.
Hello, Butch, and to all the viewers of Motoring Today.
As we always do in the series, can you please give us a brief background of your company?
So you have started on 2015 and it was founded by 5 persons. They were in the transportation industry already. So by 2015, actually, the first model of UHAP is a shuttle service kung saan the riders will just pay 99 pesos for back and forth fare na within 15 kilometers. So it's a win-win program for the commuters and for the drivers also. The intention of UHAP before was to maximize the seating capacity of the car and to limit the cars in the road. So for example, using van, we have 18 seating capacity. So it can accommodate up to 18 passengers. So 18 riding commuters, meaning one car is to 18 passengers. So with that, we can lessen cars in the road and then maximize the seating capacity of the car.
Being in the public transport industry for quite some time, can you give us an idea why you decided to be involved with transport network vehicle services?
It was founded by persons which are in the transportation industry, and they understand the problems here in the Philippines, which is number one, the traffic in Metro Manila. So they want to at least ease the problem by providing a solution and alternative transportation services to our commuting public.
Tell us, how did you do when you were in the shuttling services?
We had a good launching on 2015 kasi it was just 99 pesos. Imagine 99 pesos for a back and forth fare. Then the passengers don't need to go to the terminals, and you know, ang haba kasi ng pila sa terminal. So they don't need to undergo that long queues in the terminal.
Aside from the shuttle service that you engaged in, did you offer other services as your company evolved through the years?
Right now, we are also offering TNVS. So UHAP is now considered as a transportation network company. So we are providing services just like what the other TNCs are providing now. So it's just the same on-demand service.
Having mentioned about the other TNCs, what do you think makes you stand out from the rest?
Actually, the main purpose of UHAP kasi is to provide yung transportation na affordable para sa mga passenger. At the same time, yung mga drivers, mauuwi nila yung malaking earnings, yung part ng gross income nila. So what we have in UHAP, we have the lowest commission that we're giving to drivers. So we're only getting 10 to 15% commission. That's the lowest so far. For the passengers, we charge them just the actual fare. We have an estimate fare like for a distance of say 5 kilometers. So we will provide an estimate fare. With that estimate fare, yung i-charge lang sa kanila is within that range, like from 90 to 110. So kung ano yung actual fare for the kilometer na tinakbo lang nila, yun lang yung i-charge namin. Plus right now, we're not charging surge pa.
Thank you very much for your time, Ms. Marasigan. Before we end, do you have any message to the viewers, most especially to the riding public?
To the riding public, we are encouraging you to at least please try UHAP app. It is a Filipino-owned company, and we will make sure that we will provide you the affordable and safe and reliable transportation services.
Thank you once again, ma'am.
Thank you, Butch. Happy motoring.
That was Ms. Dana Marasigan, Finance Manager of UHAP Transportation Network Vehicle System, with insights into their operations. Our guest this week on Motoring the Day's Motoring Forum.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'll miss you too.
So, why are you back?
I didn't want to miss you.
Calling all automobile enthusiasts. Autofocus.com.ph is exclusive to the automobile, where you'll find reviews on the latest brand new car models, together with their head-to-head comparisons. It has the detailed specs of car models available in the country and their latest SRPs and special promos, together with the latest auto industry news and developments like car launches and test drives. Autofocus.com.ph is all about automobiles. Click on.
See the horizon as a starting point. Use each obstacle to gain momentum. Make the unknown routine. Continue where all others stop. New Peugeot SUV range. Never have SUVs gone so far.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Expander.
Continuing with Motoring Today, here once again is this week's series of valuable motoring tips. We start off with road safety reminders on the Young Street Smarts portion, courtesy of Toyota Motor Philippines.
Hello everyone and welcome to Motoring Today's Young Street Smarts Club. This is brought to you through the courtesy of Toyota Motor Philippines and the Toyota Foundation. My name is Susie of Magic 89.9. Muling magbibigay sa inyo ng simpleng tips on how to use our roads properly and safely. When you're about to enter a runabout or rotonda, paunahin muna ang mga sasakyan na kasalukuyan ng tumatakbo dito. When it's already safe to do so, saka ka pumasok. Always be aware of your surroundings at huwag magmadali. Until the next time here on Motoring Today's Young Street Smarts portion, where you can learn to be safe while on the road as a pedestrian, commuter, biker, or driver. This is Susie of Magic 89.9 reminding you to always be a safe and responsible road user.
One of the major problems concerning the present crop of public utility vehicle drivers is their lack of awareness to the simple rules of proper demeanor. So again, for this week, courtesy of Mitsubishi Motors Philippines, payo ng isang tsuper para sa kanyang kapwa tsuper.
Payong tsuper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Ka Jojo Martin, isang kapwa nyo tsuper. Bigyang prioridad ang mga pedestrian.
Matutong magbigay daan sa mga tumatawid na pedestrian, lalo na sa mga bata at matatanda. Tumigil sandali at huwag magmadali. Maging magpasensya upang makaiwas na rin sa disgrasya. Siguraduhin na buo ang iyong atensyon sa pagmamaneho at sa lahat ng nasa paligid mo.
Bukod sa iyong mga pasahero, huwag ring kalimutang irespeto ang mga tao sa labas ng sasakyan. Ito po si Ka Jojo Martin, payong tsuper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo tsuper.
It's time once again for our weekly tips on proper maintenance and repair to ensure your vehicle's longer life and service from Isuzu Philippines Corporation.
Pero gaya ng lahat ng bahagi ng sasakyan, dapat maingat ang paggamit nito upang humaba ang buhay ng mga pyesa. Ang automatic ay gumagana sa pamamaraan ng torque converter. Sa halip ng manual na clutch, ang torque converter ang nagmamanage ng lakas ng makina upang mailipat ito sa transmisyon. Kapag galing ka sa full stop, iwasan ang pag-shift mula neutral to drive na sabay ang apak sa accelerator. dapat nasa engine idle lamang ang makina kapag kakambyo sa drive upang hindi mabigla ang torque converter. Huwag na huwag po nating biglain ang pagkambyo sa pamamaraan ng pag-arangkada ng makina sa neutral at biglang pasok ng drive. Tiyak na malakas ang wear and tear nito sa automatic transmission. Habang umaandar na ang sasakyan, hayaan lang ang transmission na mamili ng wastong gear para sa sitwasyong hinaharap. Sa mga ilang sitwasyon gaya ng pag-ahon sa matarik na kalye, maaari mag-manual shift upang magamit kaagad ang tersera, segunda o kahit primera. Kung gagawin po ito, siguraduhin lang na hindi sobrang taas ang revolusyon ng makina bago mag-downshift upang hindi mabigla ang transmission. At kapag dalampasan na ang obstacle, ibalik agad ang shifter sa drive upang maiwasan ang pag-overheat ng transmission fluid. Bukod sa manual shifting, maaari din i-off ang overdrive ng sandali upang ma-lock out ang fourth gear. Kapag naka-off ang overdrive, ang magagamit lang ng mga gear ay ang primera, segunda at tersera. Bukod sa mga simpleng prinsipyo na ito, kailangan lang palitan ang transmission fluid sa regular service intervals na bawat 40,000 kilometers. Kailangan din inspeksyonin ang transmission fluid level bawat 5,000 kilometers upang makasiguro na walang leak o sira ang inyong transmission.
Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Expander.
Your weekly window to the world of business and guide to the good life can now be watched online. Just click on businessandleisure.ph and watch this week's show and other past episodes of Business and Leisure at your most convenient time of the day. Business and Leisure is now on the web. Watch it anytime.
Motoring Today continues as we now give you the latest news and developments in the world of motorsports.
After a very intense and rainy battle, Milo Rivera was the fastest driver in the fourth round of the 2018 Philippine Autocross Championship Series held at SM Novaliches, clocking a time of 30.25 hundredths of a second, which also topped the all-Toyota class. Coming next to him, who also gave him quite a challenge, was Inigo Anton with a time of 30.48 hundredths of a second, the best time in the all-Honda class. Inigo also beat the time of his father, Carlos Anton, who was third fastest overall with a time of 30.66 hundredths of a second, which is also the best time in the Experience Modified B class. Fourth fastest overall was Estefano Rivera, who set a time of 30.84 hundredths of a second, driving in the same car as his brother in the all-Toyota class. While Danby Yaptinchai was fastest in the all-Mitsubishi class with a time of 31.10 hundredths of a second. Finally, racing enthusiasts and racers in Antipolo conducted what they called the Unity Ride for car and motorcycle racers. Led by the Racing Antipoleños, organizers of the Unity Ride aims to unite car and motorcycle racers in efforts to make roads safer for all. Organizers hope to make racers and racing enthusiasts examples of discipline on the road while encouraging everyone to join legal racing events instead of participating in illegal street races.
Discipline siguro, kailangan natin magkaroon ng discipline sa kalye, kaya isa naging kasi nagkakaroon ng marami aksidente sa kalye. So para malaman nila kung ano ba talaga at saan ba dapat talaga dumaan ng isang nagmumotor o gumagamit po ng sasakyan. Yun po, isa po yung sana namin. Kami lang po yung magiging example dito.
Another aim of the Unity Ride is to bring together motorcycle riders and car owners together and come to an understanding and awareness on how both can share the road and make it safe for everyone.
The reason why Odek and I built the group para maturuan din every car owners, car riders. We share the same passion, it's racing. So nag-usap kami, why not we build a group na mapag-unite natin ang kotse, motor, everybody with the same passion, tapos tulungan na lang. Most of the time kasi, most of the group, magkakahiwalay sila eh. Iba ang motor, iba ang kotse. Sa amin, we created this event for everybody to unite. Pakisamahan din natin, earn more friends, di ba? Share best practices. Yun ang isa sa dahilan kaya nabuo yung group.
More motorsports and motoring today as we now usher in race weekend. The rains have come and the hot summer of racing has ended with the start of the rainy season. But the heat of competition is certainly not dampened by a wet track. It has made the racing even more thrilling, especially for newbies and young racers at the Clark International Speedway for the fourth round of the 2018 Flat Out Race Series. Up next, highlights of the first wet race of the 4 series on race weekend.
We're here in Clark International Speedway for the first wet race of the season, the 4th round of the 2018 Flat Out Race Series, as cars are once again lining up, eager for the start of the race. Many have been eager to take to the track the morning of Saturday, June 9 for the practice run, the time attack, and the grid races. It had been raining for much of the time, leading to the 4th round of the 2018 Flat Out Race Series. And much of the surface of the 4.119-kilometer Clark International Speedway was shiny and sleek with rainwater. And after seeing many of those who took the track ahead of them, slipping and sliding, spinning and fishtailing all over the track, causing all sorts of mayhem, some were not quite as eager, admitting to being scared and excited all at the same time. This was true of many of the younger drivers, most of them experiencing driving on a wet circuit for the first time, with rain pouring and windshields fogging up, affecting visibility already much hampered by the pouring rain.
The experience was definitely exciting, although I must admit it was really scary at first since it's my first wet race. But with the guidance of my coach Milo, he paved the way for me to ease the experience on the track. Since ako yung last na nasa track, it was kind of scary kasi nakita ko lahat ng nangyaring bagaan kanina and mas kinabahan ako to get out on the track, especially with the heavy rain. I definitely did encounter those challenges, yung hydroplane, yung sobrang dulas, nagpe-fishtail. So what I did was just to really try to control the car based on feeling na lang because may ibang parts of the track na I couldn't see anything, almost zero visibility na, and it was really foggy inside.
Others seemed unfazed by the rain at all, having as much fun racing in the wet as they did in the dry, even after spinning all over the track.
The first 2 rounds was okay, but last round in the BRC, I broke out 2 seconds. So I have a ballast of 50 kilos. So I'm a ricer right now because I have 2 bags of rice in my car. Then this race is good. It's raining, it's fun.
Some steadied themselves racing in wet conditions by getting to finally practice what coaches preach about racing in the rain.
Like our coach always tells us that if there's rain, you go back to the basic. You brake on a straight line, then you turn, then you gas on a straight line also. So every time that there's rain, I try to remember that we go back to the basic.
The veterans, however, fell back on the past experience with rainy conditions and how to prep cars for the slippery condition.
First time na wet race this year. Masyadong sobrang madulas ang track. We need to remove our rear stabilizers para mawala yung steeper suspension sa likod. Sumunod yung likod niya, hindi kami umikot.
Despite the rain, organizers were still happy to have been able to complete the time attack phase of a 4 race weekend.
I'm here with one of the organizers of the Flat Out Race Series, Mr. JP Castellano. Hi JP, thank you for joining us.
It's nice to have you here. Welcome to the Clark International Speedway and welcome to round 4 of the Flat Out Race Series.
Can you just give the viewers an idea of who is the front runner for this leg?
Well, right now we're still working on the results, but it looks like we're seeing Raf Lao leading in the Grid A and the Bracket A, followed closely by his competitors Eduardo Suiza, and I think we have a new competitor joining Grid A today.
You've mentioned you have a new competitor. How many new fresh faces have you seen, particularly in this leg?
Today, actually, we're lucky to have, I think, 7 new faces here, and we're welcoming them at the Flat Out Race Series. And it's quite the baptism because it's such a wet race today and it's very challenging conditions for all the drivers.
You've mentioned that this is the first wet race of the season. Can you tell us how tough it is for a race car driver to enter such condition?
Yeah, while it's already quite hard to control a car at high speed in dry conditions, it's even more difficult now that we have changing weather conditions, not just the slippery track, but the changing conditions. One lap you can take this corner at a certain speed, but then the next lap it may be more wet and it may be more dangerous to go at the same speed. So it's basically down to the drivers to adapt to these changing conditions.
Okay, what are the precautions that you are ready to apply to the whole race for the drivers? Can you just give the viewers an idea of that?
Well, in circuit racing, we're one of the motorsports where rain doesn't really stop us, but it's up to our race director to make sure the conditions are just safe enough for our drivers. And of course, our bracket times are slightly different for this wet race, so we're running around 8 to 10 seconds slower for the brackets. And of course, we have the AAP and their towing service. We have a Lifeline ambulance and our own recovery crew. So we make sure that everyone is running, and if there's a stalled car, we immediately remove it for the safety of the others. And in case there are any emergencies, the ambulance crew and the paramedics are always there on standby to help us. And fortunately today, we had a few incidents of spinning out and a few contacts with the wall, but all competitors, I'm happy to say, they're safe and enjoying our race today. Thank you very much, and see you again on the next round of the Flat Out Race Series.
The wet track led to a number of surprising results, some of the younger competitors outdoing the veterans in the time attack. Although that can't be said in Bracket R, where Rafael Lau was again the fastest driver. Gabi Sohu was fastest in Bracket A, upstaging Eduardo Suiza, who came in second. In Bracket B, Jericon Singh proved enough of a rainmaster to set the fastest lap, dropping Paulo Santos to second, with Rafi Sohu ending up in third. Errol Panganiban took the wheel of an all-wheel drive Subaru WRX STI instead of his usual Mazda MX-5 and D to set the fastest lap in Bracket C. Rafi Rabu in another Subaru, a BRZ, was fastest in Bracket D, with Romel Guevara in second and Robert Tan in third. Bracket E saw Kenneth Santos besting Michael Rivero, who came in second, and Franklin Ong in third. 15-year-old Cody Nang proved his Bracket F win in round 3 was no fluke by again dominating his bracket. Emil Del Mundo was second fastest, and Mark Pascual third. Chini Jimenez, driving a Nissan 240Z, showed up the boys in Bracket G. Edwin Sarmienta outdueled Christopher Ko in the Special 86 class. Only the combined Grid D and E race was run in the 4th round as the continuous rains forced organizers to postpone the other grid races due to unsafe circuit conditions. Paul Ongcuanco proved bravest and steadiest in the rainy conditions to win the Grid D race, crossing the finish line just 6/40,000ths of a second ahead of Andre Makinatan, with Erwin Manawag finishing in third. Felix Chua dominated the Grid E race, finishing 16 seconds ahead of second placer Mark Pascual, with Emil Del Mundo finishing third.
And that concludes our exciting coverage of the 4th round of the 2018 Flat Out Race Series and the first wet race of the season. Be sure to check us out for more motorsports highlights.
There will surely be more wet and wild races in force and the other motorsports disciplines. Aside from making for more spectacular racing, this should help our up-and-coming racers to improve their skills and confidence on driving on the track, on paved surfaces or dirt courses. We certainly have a cadre of young racers ready to take the next step up in their racing careers, locally and internationally. And experience in the wet would help them grow in skill and confidence.
Break away from the everyday. The new Toyota Rush.
Rediscover an extraordinary world as it unfolds before your eyes with the all-new 7-seater diesel CR-V. See the extraordinary.
Think you're tough? Do you dare to go off-road or off-key? Do you use your great power with great control? With the new Isuzu D-Max, you're tough enough to be unstoppable. And you're tough enough to be right back. Isuzu D-Max, tough enough for anything.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
The search for this year's Automobile of the Year has recently begun. Autofocus People's Choice Awards, a yearly search and recognition of the most popular vehicles from the country's automobile manufacturers and importers, now in its 14th staging, is back with a simplified and easier online voting process. It has been a long learning process for the awards creators and organizers to come up with the most accurate method to determine the motoring public's prevalent choices. For 2018, the equation of combining actual votes and unit sales with valuation of 80% for actual votes and 20% for the vehicle sales to determine individual scores shall hold steadfast, with the actual nationwide registration figures of the Land Transportation Office still the basis to determine actual sales. However, voting would be done so much easier with the application of the top-of-mind principle. The online voting will be simplified, with voters having to enter just 1 to a maximum of 5 picks for Automobile of the Year in either both standard and premium luxury classifications in entering their daily votes. Voting details are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at AutofocusPhil, or direct on the voting website www.autofocus.com.ph/AFPCA. All British Cars, the exclusive and authorized dealer of Jaguar and Land Rover in the Philippines, recently inaugurated its first landmark showroom and service facility in an event held last Friday. The new showroom, located in Green Hills, shall provide ample space to showcase the latest of what the Jaguar and Land Rover brands has to offer. All British Cars Green Hills also boasts of the new after-sales service facility, which will cater to the needs of their customers.
I'd like to welcome everybody in the Philippines to come and visit the new dealership in San Juan City. It's a fantastic premium location, and we welcome everybody to come and visit. Thank you very much indeed.
AutoNation Group, the exclusive distributor of Mercedes-Benz vehicles, parts, and accessories in the Philippines, recently brought Mercedes-Benz service expert Mr. Edward Bradley in the country. Dubbed as the Flying Doctor, Bradley flew to Manila to personally supervise a special service clinic for customers of the brand. He led a team of service advisors and technicians in the diagnosis and repair while sharing tips on how to best take care of their Mercedes-Benz vehicles.
Mercedes-Benz all over the world usually hosts the Flying Doctor. This is a professional and skilled technician who comes to every country and just spends a week with the customers just to check really their vehicles and give his expert opinion on how to best maintain those cars. At the same time, he shares his expertise with the local teams handling the services of the dealership. So we recently had Mr. Edward Bradley, who is a native of the UK but holds office in Malaysia. He was here for a week. He met with customers here in our EDSA Green Hills branch and also flew to Cebu to meet with the customers there. And so far, the customers' feedback has been great having met him.
Our car of the week featuring the Suzuki Vitara is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. That was the Suzuki Vitara, our featured model for this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
Rediscover an extraordinary world as it unfolds before your eyes with the all-new 7-seater diesel CR-V. See the extraordinary.
Think you're tough? Do you dare to go off-road or off-key? Do you use your great power with great control? With the new Isuzu D-Max, you're tough enough to be unstoppable. And you're tough enough to be right back. Isuzu D-Max, tough enough for anything.
Break away from the everyday. The new Toyota Rush.
On the final stretch of motoring today, we have our public service segment courtesy of Honda Cars Philippines.
In our public service segment this week, we receive a story from one of our followers regarding her experience on UB Express shuttle services, which she uses in her daily commute. According to her, there are some units that are locked inside and can only be opened from the outside. This alarmed her because when worst things happen while on the road, like criminal incidents, it will be difficult for the passengers to escape quickly. This is highly disturbing, most especially to women passengers. We will be asking the proper authorities regarding the said matter.
We'd like to urge the public to help us solve motoring problems in our midst by referring them to us so we can in turn bring them into the attention of involved authorities. Now, please refer to the screen regarding our contact details. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 32nd year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. I'm Butch Gamboa. Happy motoring